Hello, my name's Shane McElhenney and you're watching the LARNE project.
What is going on, guys? Jack here, and welcome back to episode 24 of the LARNE project here in Football Manager 2019. Today, it is the end of the season, and well, we have one last game, the Irish Football Association Challenge Cup final. Yes, the competition that we won last year. It's going to be ourselves up against Glenavon. You can see, since we were last here, we wrapped up the league in emphatic style. 84 points from 38 games, a plus 57 goal difference. All in all, very, very good. I'm only going to cover the game that won us the title. The rest of these games, I kind of rotate the team a little bit. Wasn't as paying as much attention as I normally would when playing FM. I know sometimes people will play FM, they'll walk out, go get a drink or whatever during the first half. I was on the beach, shall we say, by the the last three games of the season, because we took on Glentoran. We won this game 3-0, and my word, the goal that Mandanda scored to seal us the title at the end of the first half was sublime. But yes, 3-0 it finished. We won with style. Brad Lyons scored after 14 seconds, Mandanda from the penalty spot, and then the last goal, which I think will probably win goal of the season, an absolute screamer. And well, you can see, following on from that, a 4-1 win, a 2-2 draw against Glenavon, a win at 5-2 against Ballymena in a game where I did bring back some of the old guard. You know, I brought back McDade from the reserves, Jeff Hughes was given a game, Chris Eagles we gave a match to. I decided with this last game I was going to bring the gang back together and see what they could do. There was a sending off, I think, in the first minute of this game. It was very early on. In fact, yeah, you can see here in the 5th minute. And, that made things a lot easier for our rotated team. Also, Elliot Kebby, own goal. If that's the last piece of action he ever does for us, he's done what he did best. An own goal, a bit of a disaster for him, but all in all, just a great way to end the season with the league. So yes, today's plan is we will do the Irish Cup final. I'll then skip forward to the end of season awards. We'll go through them, talk a little bit about next season. Last episode, or rather last end of season kind of episode, I talked for way longer than I intended to. It almost became like its own little LARNE project extra. So I'm going to save a lot of those talking points, which I wish I hadn't talked about for quite so much, until next time, where we'll do a LARNE project extra. I think maybe tomorrow. I'm recording a load of videos ahead for Christmas right now. I have a feeling that this is going up on Christmas Eve. So your Christmas gift from me is going to be a long extra episode to wrap up the end of season stuff, I think. We'll kind of do a bit of a rundown outside of the squad, I guess, today. I feel like this season, in general, especially as of late, the episodes have been pretty long. I would rather keep them slightly on the shorter side, so that's what we're going to attempt to do here. In terms of our team for today's game, we have actually got to rotate just a little bit. Paul O'Connor, unfortunately, out with a twisted ankle, so Lyons is going to come in. Elsewhere in the team, you can see Tilney out with an injury. Andrew Morrison, a player who I feel like I should have talked about a lot sooner. We signed him this year, and he really hasn't played that much for us. He was a regular for Cliftonville. You can see joined us in January. I didn't really realise how good this guy was. That might seem like an odd thing to say, but when you compare him to O'Sheen, I mean, there is really not a big difference between them, and you could certainly make an argument that Andrew Morrison is the better player. They're both 18 years old, both talents for the future. Maybe they'll both be one day better than McLeany. But Andrew Morrison, a player who I definitely could see getting a lot of first-team football next year. He's very, very physically gifted, and his mentals, particularly for at this level, are pretty blooming good. Anyway, in terms of the actual starting 11 for today's game, you can see it on your screen here. We're going to go with Thompson in goal, O'Sheen and McElhaney going to be our two centre-backs. We're going to go with Kane at left-back. You can see here, Kane, one of the big improvers this year, looks like just an all-star player alongside Mandanda and O'Connor. Certainly a guy I'd like to keep around for the foreseeable future. At right-back, we are going to go with Neco Williams. Had an amazing start to the year, had a few issues with injury, has slowed down quite a lot in recent months, but we're going to give him another chance to show us what he's made of here. We're going to go with Newell at defensive midfielder. Slightly ahead of him, we are going to go with Romario Vieira. We're then going to go with Phoenix out on the left, who did score a hat-trick in the last game of the season. 9 goals for him in 22 starts in the Premiership. is not too bad this year, of course. We loaned him out to start the year. Since he came back to us, 8 goals in 19 games is a really, really impressive return. He really has been a revelation after he came back from loan prematurely. We then got Mandanda playing as our centre attacking mid. Just a little thing of note, a lot of our players' determinations have been dropping, which is a little bit of a concern. It's like they're all equalising out and averaging out. If I just flick through here, you can see here McGrath's determinations dropped a little bit. I've seen that most players dropping down to around 11, which I'm a little bit concerned about. I'm hoping that isn't going to be an ongoing problem for us, because it is difficult to mould a squad with the age restrictions we're under to really kind of make the most of, I guess, of the squad personalities, just because when you're signing younger players, you can't really sign older, more influential players who have that better personality. Anyway, complete forward, we're going to go with Brad Lyons. At striker, we are going to go with Simmons. And on the bench, we've got a load of options: McDermott, McGrath, Fuad Sul, Jeff Hughes, Tommy O'Donnell, Glatzel and Jarvis. Hughes is going to play today on the bench just because I might need him at left wing. The way things have worked out with O'Connor being injured, we're a little bit lacking in that department, but still a very strong squad, which I'm hoping can do the business for us today. We will have to see how we get on. Hopefully we can hit the ground running here in this big cup final. We want to retain this trophy. Obviously, we've won the league. It'd be great to win this. We've won the County Antrim Shield as well. So a chance of the treble here, of course. It could have been a quadruple if we hadn't bottled the other cup final against Cliftonville. But Glenavon, a team that we've done pretty well against this year. They've not really been a bogey team of sorts. We'll see how we get on here. It's a very bright day, apparently. This pitch is actually kind of hurting my eyes with how bright it is. Maybe that's just me. It's a weird colour. Anyway, 2 minutes into this game, going to be an early chance here. Can we make the most of it? Our team is a very, very strong team today. Obviously, there's been a bit of a rest since the end of the league season. A couple of weeks for players to catch, I guess, their breaths, just recoup themselves. And hopefully we can keep things going and hit the ground running here in this last game of the year, of course. Looking further ahead now, we are going to have Champions League qualifiers next episode, which isn't an extra episode. So whenever the next regular season episode is, season 3 beginning, Champions League football is going to be the aim. Now, is that realistic? Almost certainly not, but we're going to give it our best go. Certainly the Europa League group stage, I think, has to be the aim in the summer. Obviously, with our transfer restrictions, it does become a little bit more difficult for us. I have been thinking about the transfer restrictions. Obviously, right now, we cannot sign British players over the age of 18 and Northern Irish players over the age of 21. Obviously, Irish players as well. I lump them in with the British players. I know people don't like that. Irish and British players have to be under the age of 19. I am wondering if, we'll see. I feel like we'll see how this summer goes in terms of players I can sign. I do wonder if incorporating some slightly different rules might make things more interesting, I guess, with the series. I want to have as much of the squad homegrown as possible. Oh my gosh, Phoenix. Sorry, shut up, Jack. What was that strike? Mandanda with the assist, but the goal was entirely Phoenix's first time, an absolute rocket. You can see Mandanda with the first effort from the free kick. It's blocked. Mandanda tees up his compatriot. And Phoenix, bang. That's his weaker foot. You wouldn't know it, would you? That was a scorcher into the back of the net. But yes, just going back to the transfer restriction thing, I am wondering if, in a couple of seasons' time, maybe even next summer, we could do something where we limit ourselves to where only a quarter of our transfer budget can be spent on foreign players. Maybe they still have to be under the age of 19, or maybe they can be slightly older. What I'm quickly realising is that, with the restrictions I'm under, I could play the game for 20 years and not be able to win the Champions League. I'd love to win the Champions League, that is the aim here, but at the same time, I don't want to be in a Gibraltar Apex situation where I'm sat playing the same save game for 40 seasons. That was never the intention with the LARNE project. It was more about, building a young squad. I do feel like in the extra episodes we're going to have coming up, I might talk a little bit more about the youth development side of things, because I think that's something that you guys really do take an interest in. But, half-time here. Let's focus on the game. 1-0 up. Patterson, of course, with the goal. I feel like I always call him Phoenix. Phoenix just sounds cooler. We did also have a chance right at the end there. It hit the woodwork. First half stats completely in our favour. We've been very, very strong here. Hopefully we can keep them going in the second half. Obviously, only a 1-goal cushion. It's a dangerous lead. We need to keep it going. 40 minutes left of the second half. Looking like they might go more attacking, at least in the eyes of our assistant. You can see, looking at them, they're still playing the 4-4-2. It's not really working out for them. And now we're gone. We've got options here. What do I want to do? Brad Lyons has not had the greatest of games, so I'm going to bring in Glatzel for him. Of course, without O'Connor in the team, we do lack our go-to kind of complete forward. We don't really have an alternative there. So that is a little bit of a concern. So we're going to have to play Glatzel somewhat out of role, but we'll see what he can do as that right inside forward. Of course, going to have the advantage of having fresh legs on off the bench. That might be able to mask over some of the issues he's got with his unfamiliarity. Just because he'll be, more, I guess, fit going into the game. Oh my gosh, what the hell is that? Jason Atkinson for Glenavon. It's his 4th goal of the season. Were all 4 of them like that? It's 1-1. 2 absolute screamers, 1 for either team. You can see here the ball. I think O'Mahony isn't really aiming for his man. It deflects, but then bang, half volley. I can't even blame Jared Thompson in goal. An absolute thunder bastard, pardon my French, but it was. He's cannoned that in from so far away. It's launched its way into the bottom corner. 20 minutes left. Maybe I need to make more changes. Let's close down Jackson more, please. I'm not sure what I clicked then to get out of the screen. 10 minutes left. It's still 1-1 here. Mandanda's done okay. Romario Vieira's not been great. Let's bring in Fuad Sully for him and see what he can do. Getting some fresh legs into the box-to-box midfielder is kind of a go-to change. I feel like with this system, we do command quite a lot of that player to get up and down the pitch. It's not an easy role by any means. It's certainly difficult to maintain it over 90 minutes. Neco Williams, what a tackle that is. Mandanda to Glatzel. Simmons, the £100,000 man from Manchester City. What a run. The finish at the end of it was not quite there. Tuffy, a nice stop, parrying it wide. He was bearing down on goal. You thought for a second he was going to find the back of the net. It's now with Mandanda from this corner. Players queuing up, headed away. You think that's all it's going to be. Phoenix goes to, Mandanda, who's offside. 8 minutes left in this game. I don't really want to change anything. I've talked about this before, but with this tactical system, it's not an easy one to adapt to make it even more attacking, really, without upsetting the whole balance. And 1-1 it remains. It's going to go to extra time here. Boys. I'm not happy. I'm not a happy bunny. We've got 1 sub left if we want to make it. Is it a chance for Rory Jarvis to make himself a hero? Simmons is not had the greatest of games. Let's bring in Rory. Simmons, not a good day at the office for him. Rory, on the other hand, he's yet to have a good day at the office. Although at training, actually, he's been having great days at the office. But whenever the inspector comes in, which is you guys, he doesn't really perform. He's had a lot of appearances on off the bench. Still looking for that first goal. Maybe today is the game. It's in the script. It's the cup final. We'll see if he can do it. But, we could have a chance straight from kickoff here. Or it could just be the pointless highlight. It's the latter. Anyway, Rory, show us what you can do, my son. This extra time, not what I wanted to see to end the season. It could even go to penalties, the way that this is going right now. There is only 15 minutes left in this match. We are going to go straight into the second half of extra time here. But 1-1. Start the second half of extra time. I'm going to do a shout. Show some passion, boys. Show us that you want it. They've had 2 shots on target all game, and one of them was that screamer which found its way in. It's just not been quite good enough from us today so far. It would be heartbreaking if we somehow managed to lose this now. I don't want to go more attacking or really change a whole lot, because statistically we are dominating the game. We just need that moment of quality, a ball of quality, a quality finish. And Rory, this is your moment. This is your moment. Oh, gosh. Rory, he couldn't handle the pressure. He will find the back of the net one day, but it doesn't look like it's going to be today. There is just 1 minute left. Let's go very attacking to end it. It's going to penalties. I don't know how it's gone to penalties. When you look at those stats, it's kind of mad that it has, but this is what we're going to go with. Rory is actually good at penalties. We don't have very many good penalty takers, though. I'll be completely transparent with you. We could be in trouble here, but we'll see what we can do. Rory, please score this. You're our best penalty taker by a margin. He does score. Okay, panic over. He has hit the back of the net now. Craig now to step up for them. Jared Thompson, a player who I've consistently talked about wanting to replace. He's got a chance to be a hero here in this penalty shootout. From the first penalty, he's not going to be. Mandanda, I don't think he's missed a penalty all season. It's probably in the script. He's going to miss it now. Steps up. He does miss it now. That's not what we wanted to see. It's now Murray for Glenavon. I want this trophy. I want to retain it. Jared, can you show us what you're made of in goal? He can show us what he's made of. Take a bow. 1 penalty scored for each team. 1 penalty missed for each team. Phoenix, the goal scorer for us. Can he score from 12 yards? Of course he can. Into the bottom corner it goes. Lovely finish by the number 51. Now with O'Mahony, who got the assist for the Glenavon goal. He's going to step up here. Jared, what can you do? I mean, he can't stop it. It was straight down the middle, but hit with real power. Now we turn to Kane. Kieran Kane, the left back. He is not known for his finishing. On his left peg, what can he do? He kicks it straight down the keeper's throat. And we're in trouble. We are in trouble. If they score this here, we have to score our next pen, and then they have to miss us to take it to sudden death. Oh my gosh, he skied it. Ferris, more like Ferris wheel. Okay, that was awful. But no, Newell with a chance now to put pressure on the last taker for Glenavon. The defensive midfielder steps up. Ooh, what a penalty that was. What a penalty that was by him. The keeper didn't even move. Right into the bottom corner. It's now all on Atkinson. He scored the goal to take us to extra time and penalties. I mean, Jared Thompson in goal. Be the hero that we need. Be the hero that I need right now. I need a hero, Jared. I'm holding out for a hero to the end of the night. And I want it to be you. What can he do here? Atkinson going to step up. Hits it and Jared saves it. I mean, can you give him the save there? I think we'll let him have it. We win the cup. It could have been so much more convincing. It should have been so much more convincing. We lift silverware. I've got my green and red suit on, looking dapper as always. But I don't know. I want to be happy that we've just won the trophy. It could have been a very different result on another day. Glenavon, stiff opposition to say the very least. They made things hard for us. You can see Irish Cup bonuses paid out. We win the penalty shootout. Phoenix, that goal from him was superb. I mean, we should probably praise him just for that. He did also score his penalty, so fair play to him. And with that, we do win the whole thing. You can see Glenavon won on penalties in the 6th round, so they were familiar with the pens. But, well, when it came to the big stage, we held firm and we were the better side here. Anyway, guys, as I said, we'll go forward to the end of season awards. I'm not going to go through so much detail in things, I guess, today to end the season, just because I want to cover that in the next extra episode, which will be coming your way soon. But yeah, stick around. We'll see who got goal of the season, who the top players were, team of the year, all that jazz. And yeah, don't go anywhere. We'll be back in just a second. Okay guys, so end of season awards time. You can see here players inducted into the overall best 11. 6 players added. Kendra Simmons, the pick of the bunch. Obviously he was great this year for us, 26 goals. The former Manchester City trainee was let go. And well, I feel like we paid a reasonable fee for him, but when you look at the goal return in the league, it was probably worth it all in all. Of course, was shafted kind of out wide for a number of games as an inside forward, but performed very, very well. The other players, Phoenix into the team after only half a season is a bit of a surprise. Paul O'Connor, no real surprise there. Same with Kieran Kane. I feel like Lyons and Jared Thompson, again, not entirely surprising. You can see the overall best 11 here. A few names no longer at the club. You look at the likes of, obviously, Devlin, who played for Linfield. You can see this year, 8 clean sheets. Linfield had a really bad season, to be honest. If we just look, after the split, they were in the lower half. They actually ended up finishing 7th overall. But yes, very, very disappointing for them. He didn't really do a whole lot for them. The rest of the team, though, I think for the most part, his players all still at the club, at least right now. You know, things will change, I think, over the next year or two. Few players' contracts running out. I do need to kind of try and trim down the squad size, I feel like. Anyway, you can see here, in terms of player of the year, it went to the club captain, actually, Shane McElhaney. He has been just absolutely superb. There's no other way to look at it, really, is there? At 29 years old, he's been the leading player for the last 2 seasons. A 7.39 average rating this year. 3 goals, 4 assists in 35 matches. Just absolutely superb. You really could not underestimate that. Also got 3 assists in cup games as well as 1 goal. And whilst he hasn't perhaps been quite as lethal from set pieces as he was last year, he's chipped in with a fair few. You can see, unsurprisingly, Mandanda and O'Connor, the other players to feature up there. Goal of the season is actually Paul O'Connor's goal against Ballymena. I remember this from the live com like it was yesterday. It was that long-ranged effort that dropped in at the far post. It was Ronaldinho against David Seaman at the 2002 World Cup-esque. That's a very precise reference right there. But yes, O'Connor just dinking it over I mean, what a goal that was. What a goal it was. I mean, it's still incredible. You can see here, Phoenix actually picked up signing of the season, which is kind of funny when you consider we signed him on a free, then loaned him out for, well, the first few months of the season before recalling him in around November, December time. But yeah, what a season he had playing for us. He really has developed into just a great little player. Young Player of the Year went to Mandanda. Don't think that's too surprising there. In terms of season review, of course, expectations from the board extremely high here at LARNE. They wanted us to win absolutely everything. And, well, we did just that. In the Aspire to Inspire LARNE kind of document, I talked about this in the very first episode, but essentially there is a 5-year plan at the club. In this year, they wanted to have the average attendance above 1,000 fans. So we've done that, which is absolutely fantastic. 1,568 fans turning up to every game, of course. A stadium expansion on the horizon as well of only a few hundred seats, but I think it's going to take us to 2.3 thousand. And also in the Aspire to Inspire document, the aim for this season, having got promoted last year, is for the team to consolidate their position. Of course, with the money that we've got, with the players at our disposal that we've signed, winning the league was always my aim, and in Football Manager, that was the aim that the club was given with all their money. It's obviously great to do that. And also we have continued to upgrade our facilities, which again is in line with the document. In terms of homegrown players, we've only been here for 2 years, so of course homegrown players is something we'll be worrying about towards the end of next season, just how good a job we've done at making, a squad of mostly homegrown players. But at the moment at least, we're on course for a number of the goals. Whether or not in 5 years' time half the squad will be homegrown at club, I think remains to be seen. That still seems like a very, very lofty ambition. In terms of squad dynamics, you can see we're kind of lacking highly influential players. We had the likes of McDade and Thomas Stewart. They've kind of faded into obscurity over the course of this season, and as a result, we don't really have so many highly influential players. Jeff Hughes' contract has 1 more year left on it, so he's going to be sticking it out at the club. And McLeany has got 2 years left on his current deal. I'd kind of like to get him on a newer contract, although he is getting on just a little bit. There's not necessarily a big pressure to get him on a new one just yet. But yeah, our 2 team leaders there potentially on their way out. In terms of plans for next season, I think it's kind of obvious. We want to win it again, don't we? We want to do it, and the players want to do it as well. That's what I want to see. In terms of end of season confidence, you can see here the board are very, very happy. The competitions is always going to be something difficult when it comes to our confidence, because our board want us to win absolutely everything. Obviously, in the League Cup, we did lose in the final, but besides that, we achieved everything that was expected of us, which is obviously fantastic. You can see here in terms of club issues, club stature, the improvement to the club stature has gone through the roof since we've been here, which the board love. Wage budget is under control. Our job value could be a little bit better. I might try and get a new contract thrashed out there. If we look at match performances, obviously players performing particularly well. Phoenix has kind of become a fan favourite over the course of this season. And, well, transfer activity is always a bit of an interesting one. In terms of fan reaction, they love the signing of Andrew Morrison, which I think is fair. Obviously joined us in January. Danny Severio's loan out as well to Dungannon Swifts has gone down well. He got 8 goals in 10 games for them. I'd love him to really find his feet. Dungannon Swifts, unfortunately, going to be relegated this year. Severio is on loan at them until January of next year. So a chance for him to make his mark in the league below. Although, to be honest, there is a temptation, I guess, to recall him and send him back out. Of course, in terms of signings, you can see here Phoenix Patterson has been great for us. Kendra Simmons, again, has been great. Brandon Griffiths, a player we let go on loan to Portadown, has done pretty well for them. For those of you curious, Portadown, who of course were our rivals last year, they have won the league this year. They won it fairly convincingly over Dundela, who, if I'm not mistaken, are still in the playoffs where they're playing Coleraine. It's 1-1 after the first leg. The second leg is in a couple of days' time, so you guys will have to stick around till next season to see who the other team in our league is. Obviously, players like Neko Williams has been a fantastic signing as well this year for us at right back. Anyway, I'm starting to tread into the realms of stuff I want to cover in the LARNE Project Extra in terms of going through players individually. I want pre-season to last as long as possible because we are going to have a European campaign to look forward to. I don't know if our squad profile is updated to show that yet. It has not. But yes, we should be playing in the Champions League at the start of next year in terms of the qualifying rounds. There's a long, long way to even get to the competition. But we're going to do our utmost, and well, that'll be the next main episode coming your way following tomorrow's extra episode. But anyway, guys, that is going to be all from me today. Fantastic Season 2 here at LARNE. I'm sure you guys can agree. Some very exciting players for the future. I think the big narrative string to be aware of is the fact that Mandanda is wanted by Juventus and a load of other big clubs. I might need to offer him another new contract and see if we can get him to stay at the club, but that might not necessarily be so easy. So, yeah, watch this space. Mandanda going to be the real challenge, I think, to keep hold of, but what a player he is. Seriously, so good. Absolutely love him, and I have no intention of selling him for any price, really. He's invaluable. There's no amount of money that would help me solve my problems, particularly with our current transfer restrictions. But anyway, guys, that is all from me today. Hopefully you enjoyed. I will see you guys tomorrow for the LARNE Project Extra, and it is me, Jack, and I will talk to you guys in a bit. I'm out.